nobody is going to save you. Not the Liberals, no. And certainly not the Conservatives, no. And no God, no. There's going to be no white horse riding in to save the day. No, and certainly not a cow. No. Well, it's time that we started to start looking after ourselves. We need to start building up our resilience to the system. It sounds all a bit conspiratorial, doesn't it, you know? Oh, they're all out to get us. I don't think that's the case. I think they're just all out to feather their own nest. And we are the sacrificial lambs. Not cows, but lambs. They're cows. So, I believe, as a bit of an ego bunny in many ways, not full on, no, but I do what I can to, along with my dear missus, you know, who currently has walked up right ahead of me, up there with the dogs. I believe we have to do something for ourselves and start pushing back at the corporations. I know it's a line that has been said so many times, and I've said it as well, haven't I? But we do. Now, I am fully aware that we have to fund the systems, local systems, you know, make sure you've got your roads and all the stuff that you might need locally. Well, that could lead to an argument that maybe we need to make sure we are funding local councils. And one way of doing that is to start businesses, local businesses. You could still import stuff and sell it on and stuff like that, you know, like the knick-knack stalls and stuff like that. But also you could make stuff. You know, there's all sorts of small businesses. I'm sure you've got your imagination for that. And it's something that we should all be gearing towards. Because in a world where we are going to be seeing mass unemployment driven by artificial intelligence, and some people don't believe it, I guarantee you it is a part of the problem. I've seen it firsthand from my own family who have lost their jobs because of AI, and that's just a tiny example, and that is spreading across the world. So many admin jobs are going to be lost, there's going to be so many factory jobs are going to be lost because they don't need us. So if they don't need us, it means that they are not going to look after us. They aren't going to make sure that we've got good health care, and they ain't going to make sure that we've got money in our pockets because they no longer need us. They don't care. Now, I say they don't no longer need us, but they do really, but they're a bit naive. They seem to forget who's actually making them rich in the first place. So we can fight back. Now, Canada, for instance, has kind of already started that trend with their boycotts of the United States. They are going on holiday, yes, but in many cases they're going local or travelling to other places and not the United States. Also, their buying trends are more local, native. Whereas too many people get a thrill out of buying stuff that's come from obviously China. I'm recording this on a Chinese device. I know full well it's very difficult to let go completely. I get that. That's almost an impossibility. But we can cut back. And if everybody cuts back, the difference will be astounding. Where you'll see all the little stores and shops and that start reopening. Whereas we get these local businesses are going to need somewhere to trade from. Maybe they'll even just trade online, who knows? But we should at least give it a chance. Now, I know there'll be some people mocking the idea and that on this channel. Ain't going to work. Where are we going to get our Netflix from? You know, there's going to be all that. But that is part of it, but also part of the fun. Part of it has to be the process. It's a bit like if you go on holiday and all you're caring about is the destination and not the journey, well then I think you got it wrong. Unless you're on a British rail train, well then maybe it is destination. That journey ain't that great. Although they have renewed the line on the A11. Yeah, the M11, from Norwich to Stansted, for instance. It's much better than it used to be. Now, There's so many things that we can do to improve our outlook. And if we're going to remain positive and keep our head above the water, because at the moment we're barely treading it. Yeah, we're sinking fast. And these corporations are, they are the reason. End of the day, if they hadn't developed bloody artificial intelligence, maybe your jobs would be more secure. And robotics, all the people that are telling us that, like Sam Altman, Elon Musk telling us that it's going to take your jobs, and then they carry on doing it. So they obviously don't give a shit about you. They're just going to be providing services to the rich. All the little people, like us, are going to be flat on our faces. Now, currently, there's a massive problem within this so-called machine that really just pushes money up and up and up and out to offshore bank accounts. Not back to you, so you can re-spend it. No. Just out and just sits there in a bank account somewhere. It's not helping anybody. It just gives them more equity. So they can then borrow more money against what equity they've got and then put us in an even bigger shitty position. You see, the federal bank currently is quantitative tightening. They're literally taking money out of the system at the moment. You're going to see massive inflation, which means prices are going to increase even more. Food prices. That tells me, maybe the answer to high food prices is not to buy it in the first place. Maybe the answer to the high food prices is to start growing your own food. But not just for you. No. For your neighbour. And maybe that neighbour over there. And maybe then you'll encourage them to start growing some food. And maybe they might find that they're great at growing cabbages and potatoes. And you're great at tomatoes. And then you can have a barter going on. An exchange system. It builds communities. And it sounds all very tree huggy like, doesn't it? But let's be honest, that's how it used to be. Now I look around here, okay, as an example. You see all these wire fences? They didn't used to all be wire fences like this, electric fences. Well, they're not electric, these ones are though. You know, didn't used to all be like that. They used to be hedgerows. But what do the farmers do? Well, they knock down all the bloody hedges to make the fields bigger. And they put up these wire fencing instead because it's quick and it's easy and it's instant. No more hedgerows. No more biodiversity. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, if you don't have a healthy planet, you're not going to have a healthy you. The food that you're eating is not healthy. It's depleted of all necessary minerals. It's not just whether or not it has energy and fats and stuff like that to keep you alive, and fibre and that. It's all the minerals you need, electrolytes and shit. They don't put any of that stuff back in. None of the fertilisers have that stuff put back in. And until the farmers start doing more green manures and rotation farming, and the trend is starting, you know, especially I've seen quite a bit of that in the United States and Canada, and it makes perfect sense. You see, you allow the land to recover, and that's how we used to do it. That's how we used to do it years ago. But today we just intensively farm. We just farm the same bit of land again and again and again for the same crop again and again and again, and expect there to be all the goodness in that food. It isn't. It's depleted. That's where growing your own food comes in. That's where the barter system comes in. You can have a diverse diet just by growing your own. But I'm not saying you should just say, oh no, we're not buying anything. I'm not saying that at all. I'm talking about a reduction. A reduction. Every little helps, right? Everything that we do that can help push back, but from the corporations, but also looking after ourselves, that's the real benefit, keeping us all healthy. Every little bit is going to help. And also being careful where you buy your food from. But that is getting increasingly difficult because the costs are so high. People are looking for cheap food. Well, there ain't no cheaper food than growing it yourself. Let's be honest. Potatoes, simple, right? Tomatoes, simple, although seasonal. But you can store tomatoes really easily. You can can them and what have you. And then you have your canned tomatoes, you know, for the rest of the season until the next lot of tomatoes come in. They'll last 3 years in a jar easily. I don't know why we don't do it anymore. I know some people do, and there are growing homesteads and that, and home preppers and that, who do still grow a lot of their own food. And we do, don't we, darling?
We do.
We like growing our own food.
Yep.
And there's just so many things people can do to push back from the system, to start taking care of themselves. And it also goes to education. Now, when I see teachers showing some of the stuff, and also in front of the kids, where they've got Charlie Kirk, trying to teach the children about Charlie Kirk. A racist. I'm sorry if you love the geezer, and quite frankly, I do not. I think he's a terrible human being, or was. Let's grab a dog. Oh, you got stuck. She's on her phone. Naughty girl. Don't do that. Yeah, so... Oh, do you think they brought some flowers? I doubt it. Although we're one of the few people down there, mind. So, obviously we need to cut back from what the corporations want to sell us. And to do that, we need to say no to the Netflixes, Disney and all those kind of platforms. Cut back even on the internet. Just do what you need to do on there. Just keep it, for information purposes, and stop being indoctrinated by news outlets been telling you what is right and what's wrong. No, start thinking for yourselves. You got that thing on top of your head, all right? You need to start using it. Now, I've said this to the missus so many times about children, and the way that children seem to need to be entertained these days instead of being able to entertain themselves, go out there and play and all that. Instead, we put these fucking tablets in front of them and expect them just to sit there with a bloody tablet or phone in front of them, just clicking and doom scrolling and stuff. So, okay, some of it is educational, I admit, and but there is other ways of learning. And besides, unless we learn about all this stuff, this green stuff, right? Unless we learn about that and have an animal in your life and that as well, then how are you going to how are you going to progress? But with nature, you are part of the system. You're not just you're a part of the biodiversity. You're not just a part of the problem. But we seem to be edging towards being the problem, which is such a shame, really. We could help by literally by helping ourselves. Less environmental damage done by the corporations, all these server farms and what have you, using so much energy, polluting the water course, and all these feckin' gas turbine generators on the bloody roof. Mr. Elon Musk, Unless we actually start waking up to all this, we ain't going to survive it anyway. Because, like I said, the governments ain't going to help you. They're not going to save you. They just look at the economy as a whole package, as a whole thing. Like, for instance, Nvidia. They look at Nvidia and they see a huge amount of revenue coming in from Nvidia. But we have to remember, they are part of the problem. If Nvidia fails, the economy is literally flat on its face. It's like Venezuela and its oil, being dependent on one thing. It's nuts. We need more spokes in that wheel. We need more diversity. That we do. And what else have I got on my list? You looked at it. I've been waffling. That I have. Oh dear me. But it's just. In some ways it's painful to see. It's like a hell for my we just keep popping pills. I have so many bloody pills a day, don't I? It's just ludicrous.
You do.
And there's got to be some other ways of dealing with it. One is I've got to lose this bloody weight. I'm too heavy. I'm the first to admit, 102 kilos at 5'7". I'm a fat bastard. You're not supposed to go, She disagreed with me. I'm just cuddly, ain't I, darling?
Yeah, of course you are.
All right. Yeah. But no, I'm not blind. I've got to lose weight. I find it so difficult. And with tablets on, they naturally put a weight anyway. So that doesn't bloody help. So, maybe a bit of homeschooling, and if that's not possible, some supportive education, actually teach your kids when they come home. I know I just jumped again, didn't I? But it's all part of it, you see. So we need to start bloody buying so much shit. Maybe buy some tools or make some tools, Learn some skills. You could do it on my other channel, actually, my woodworking channel. Just learn some basic skills. You don't have to be complicated, but survival. We are talking about survival, actually, really, aren't we? In the modern world. I'm not talking about going out there and hunting yourself a bison or something. and maybe, stripping the hide off it and that, just make yourself a coat. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about surviving in the environment that's been laid out in front of us. And there is opportunities to do that. It doesn't have to all be negative, does it? There's stuff we can do, And we all do it, we all do it. But we need to wake up, including myself. Well, I am awake, but, I do realise that I also purchase a lot of stuff for my work, but also because you want it, Desire, the other day I tried to purchase myself one of them silicon women, online. But I got stopped at customs, it did. Do you know that, Darren?
No.
No, you didn't know. I didn't tell about that one, did I? No. Maybe because I fibbed.
I don't order lots of things.
No, you don't. I know you don't. You live a very simple, actually very healthy life, you do. You don't eat no meat for a start, and that's another big problem with the amount of fields that takes just to feed the cattle.
Don't drink
and then all their farts.
Don't drink any alcohol.
And burps.
Don't drink alcohol.
You don't drink alcohol either. Let's be fair, you can make your own alcohol, darling.
You could, yeah.
You can make your own alcohol. You can do that, and you can also get the sugars from sugar beet.
Lots of apples in our garden.
Yep, you could. And you don't even need, if you do apples now, you get pecking from the apple skins. There's lots of stuff you can do, You don't have to buy stuff in bottles for everything.
You've done bear kits before, haven't you?
I've done bear kits, but I've done bear, but also I've done wine, and... Yeah, but kits aren't anything, they're commercial, darling. The whole point is about pushing back.
I suppose they are, but instead of having 40 bottles or 40 cans, you've only got one tin, which is you're making it with.
That's a valid point. That is a valid point. Yeah, because it's 40 pints in one of them, isn't it? Yeah. One of them kits.
You'd have more than 40 bottles, wouldn't
you? Yeah, that's obviously better than just buying it off the shelf, of course. Mm-hmm. And some of it's really good stuff as well. Yeah, and you can make it really strong. Well, obviously you got your wine, spirits, okay, that's a bit of a dodgy one. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying anything of the sort. I'm not suggesting it at all. But building a still. Okay, we've got a car again. Oh dear. Come here, you. Come on. There he is. Hey, boy. That's a good fella. Oh, that's a stall. Mercy! She's a good woman, she is. She fosters kids. That must be a hell of a bloody job. Actually, she fostered kids. And
some of them were,
Well, they're difficult. Jeremy, he was a difficult kid. He was a nice kid, but he was a bit of a... How to put it?
Was he doing that parkour?
He was doing parkour, yeah.
Jumping from our drive into a first
He actually ran up the wall into the window. And you'd hear him. He'd be in a tree up there, and you'd hear him singing in a tree. Well, yeah, and then he'd be like jumping about and shit. He's a lovely lad, but he also was a bit mischievous and a little bit naughty. But yeah, he's difficult. I saw him the other day, actually. So yeah, I saw him. He's got a beard now.
He's fine now.
He probably is. Yeah, he's probably calmed down. Yeah, he's probably calmed down. But yeah, anyway, it's things like the fostering and the kids and stuff. It's all about communities, isn't it? It's about, if you are going to eat meat, what have you, don't go to all the supermarkets. Go to your farms.
It's also food share as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
If someone had a glut of tomatoes and someone had a glut of, run of beans, you could swap.
You could swap, exactly, yeah. That's what we do. We often give that Violet, we give her food.
We've got a French love it. We do that to our French neighbour, so...
well, to be fair, growing food is not unusual here, right?
No, not this area, no. Everybody grows it.
But also, I think, if you talk about, like, for instance, the United States, there's a lot of people, rural, who do still grow a lot of food, but also in Canada especially, and also the Canadian people, let's be honest about it, in comparison to a lot of the The Americans. From what I can see, considering 77 million people voted for Donald Trump, there's a lot of people, all right, in the United States that ain't that bright, all right? Let's be honest about it, okay? Not everyone, obviously. There's a lot of very clever people there, and very nice people too.
And I feel very sorry for you.
I'm terrified for you, actually, quite frankly. That's why I've been making videos about it. But, you know, in Canada, people seem to be more, how to put it, open-minded, you know, free thinkers, you know? They have already started their boycott of corporations. Okay, they're US corporations, but they're still corporations.
Level-headed?
More level-headed, yeah. Less reactive to stupid shit, all right? And looking at the comments I get on my videos, especially when I do the Canadian ones, it's just... there's a lot of kindness there. I think that's the difference. And I don't get a lot of trolling on this channel anyway. In fact, I don't get many views at the moment. It's really dying a death. You know, the channel's disappearing fast. Do you realise, all right? Last month, the channel got 2,000 new subscribers last month. 2,000. This month, I'm in the minuses. Yes, I don't know how that happened, but yes, a minus 29. Might be minus 30 by the time I get back. Or by the time this video goes live, it might be minus 50. But it's just... Anyway, my whole point is, I suppose, that we need to be thinking more local. We need to be more community-based, more thinking about what you need in your little vicinity, instead of thinking about, oh, what's the next film on Netflix? Oh, and talking about the latest thing that's happened on some soap or some programme that you've been following, or some series. Push back on all that stuff. There's more to life than just vegetating in front of a bloody screen. There really is, you know? This stuff is on your doorstep, all right? Green stuff is everywhere. There's more green stuff than there is concrete stuff. There just is. Maybe we need to be taking more notice of it, instead of sticking our head in the sand. Or sticking our head in front of a goggle box, quite frankly. Anyway, we're doing a rewarding here. If you're interested, there's links down below. And for us, it grounds us. It, you know, keeps us connected to the earth. And it sounds all hippie and that. I don't care what people say about that, quite frankly, because negatively wise, I don't care, because it's fact. All right, people who are more in tune with the earth are happier. They are. They just are. They're more satisfied. They have less cravings for stuff they don't need, because they've got everything they need. You know? Now, I've seen in my channel, or in the comments, people have said, I'm envious of where you live. You're living at, sort of like, life of a dream or so, some words to that effect. And I suppose we are in some ways, but we're broke. We struggle to pay our bills every month, because I'm relying heavily on YouTube, unfortunately. I do have a little bit of work I do here and there, but YouTube is really shitting on us at the moment, big time. It's real, not great. No, it's not great. So yes, we do have a nice home. Got a shitty car, mind, which is falling to pieces. needs a lot of work. And we do have a camper, and you know, we have all this land here, but land here is cheap, you see, and we bought that years ago. But what we don't have is the ability to keep your head above water, really. It's and it's getting tougher. It really is getting tougher. And I want to just keep going, you know. I want to keep this channel going. I will try anyway, but when you get videos that are doing like 200 in an hour, that's really bad for this channel. I've got 52,000 odd subscribers on this channel, and I'm getting really low views on the shorts and the long form. I mean, so, and the reason for that is that YouTube has most definitely suppressed this channel. They'll either flagged me or something I've said, more than likely. This channel has been squeezed. I can see it in the stats. I can see it from how often the videos are suggested. I can see the click-through rates are high, but the actual suggestions are low. That isn't normal, all right? Unless they're doing something. So, how long I keep the channel alive for, I don't know. Because in the end, I've got to be able to fund ourselves. And although there's some very kind people who do donate to the channel, there's also people join as members and Patreon and stuff. And I'm going to keep going for as long as I possibly can. But it's getting harder. It's getting harder. I'm getting to the point where I have to, if I don't diversify, and with my revenue source, well then we're going to be able to creek without a paddle, and obviously we don't want to do that. Don't want to be able to creek without a paddle. No. So yeah. Anyway, it's time for us to go. But just give it what we were saying earlier. Just give it some thought. What can you do to reduce? I mean, it's just a little bit, just to reduce what is hurting you. Because these corporations, they don't care about you. Obviously, they just look at their bottom line, and they don't seem to understand that. A bit like I say, if you don't look after the planet, you're not going to look after you. You can't have one without the other. It's the same with the economy, and these people, their bottom line. If they don't look after you, they're going to fail. For a start, you're going to lose. You're going to fall out of love with them, which is happening fast. And also, you're going to have to think, well, we can't afford you anymore. We can't afford the subscriptions anymore. So maybe close that door now, close the door on them before they close it on you. Anyway, please people don't like button, maybe subscribe to the channel, little bell icon, and if you want to support the channel, there is some links down below. You've got obviously memberships and Patreon and buys of coffees and stuff like that, and super thanks. Oh god, there's lots of ways. Anyway, or just if you want to support our rewilding project, check out links down below, because obviously. For us, we're quite passionate about it, and we're doing a lot with that at the moment. Give you a little idea, there's the start of it over there, right, and it goes down right into the valley. We've done about 600 trees so far, but also loads of bat boxes, bird boxes, and other little animal habitats. And they seem to like it because they keep moving in, like they do. Anyway, well, not at the moment because it's cold, but a lot of them migrating. But anyway, I'm waffling. Toodaloo. Have a lovely day, won't you?